There are many industries that specialize in the purification of a substance. That's because when we find things in nature, they usually aren't in a pure form. Iron and copper ore comes out of the ground in rocks and must be purified to form a pure metal. Aspirin was originally synthesized from the bark of willow trees and had to be separated from all of the other compounds in the bark. One important and common method of purification is by recrystallization. There are a few techniques for this, and we'll be learning one of them in this lab. Recrystallization involves dissolving a substance in a solvent, like water or acetone, and then filtering out any impurities, and then letting the solvent evaporate to obtain a pure compound. In this lab, we will recrystallize copper sulfate in order to remove sand. In reality, there might be many impurities in a substance that require multiple steps to remove. For this lab, the materials that you'll need are a hot plate with stirring, a 600 milliliter beaker, a 500 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, a glass funnel, a filter paper, some dirty copper sulfate, and a glass drying dish that isn't shown here. For the procedure, you'll weigh out 100 grams of the dirty copper sulfate. Next, measure 200 milliliters of distilled water into the 600 milliliter beaker and heat it on the hot plate with stirring. Let the water heat up for a few minutes and then slowly pour in the copper sulfate. Let the copper sulfate dissolve in the water. The sand will settle at the bottom. Let the mixture continue heating up to 90 degrees Celsius. If it gets hotter than that before all of the copper sulfate dissolves, then just turn off the heat. Set up a funnel with the filter paper by folding the filter paper twice and popping it open. Hit the filter paper with some water to make it stick to the funnel. Set the Erlenmeyer flask on the hot plate with the heat on low. This will keep the solution warm so that the filter is less likely to clog. Begin pouring the mixture through using beaker tongs so that you don't burn yourself. It will take some time to filter through. As you pour it, try to pour only the liquid portion first so that the filter doesn't get clogged, and slow down. Once all of the crystal has been filtered, pour it into a glass evaporating dish and set it aside. After several days, the water should have evaporated, giving you nice, clean crystals of copper sulfate. Return the crystals to me.